You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm your host, Steph. It is Wednesday, January 31st. I am here in Mobile, Alabama, checking in with you guys once again. Surprisingly, not a lot of updates from the 49ers side of things. I mean, it's the first of 2 weeks in preparation for the Super Bowl, and we just haven't gotten a ton of news, but what news we do have, I will be going over with you guys today. We do know that the 49ers are going to be wearing their white away jerseys as the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be wearing their home reds. If you guys are wondering why the Chiefs are the home team in this one, it's because the AFC and NFC switch who's the home team every season for the Super Bowl. So it is the AFC's turn to be the home team, and thus the Kansas City Chiefs pick their home reds. Of course, who wouldn't, right? So the 49ers are going to be wearing those godforsaken white jerseys, the same ones they wore in 2019 for that Super Bowl. Hopefully the 49ers can make different memories this time around wearing those. But yeah, I mean, the 49ers didn't have an official practice today, but they did put out a practice report, which is more a practice estimation of who would have and who wouldn't have practiced had they practiced. So for the 49ers, George Kittle was listed as a do not practice with a toe injury. As you recall, Kyle Shanahan after the game said that he is day-to-day. Linebacker Oren Burks and cornerback Ambry Thomas were both listed as limited. Oren Burks dealing with a shoulder and Ambry Thomas dealing with an ankle injury. As you guys recall, that was the injury that he sustained kind of late in the game, and we saw Logan Ryan come in and play some corner in his place. So little uncertain what I guess Ambry Thomas's availability will be like for the Super Bowl. But Kyle Shanahan said he is day-to-day as well. So I would imagine with 2 weeks to prepare for that game, he should be fine. And they listed Eric Armstead and Kalia Davis as full participants. Now on the Chiefs side, I believe the Chiefs also did not practice in this game. Didn't practice today, Wednesday, but they also put out the practice report. Their do not practice players who were listed is defensive tackle Chris Jones, Charles Omenihu, who, if you guys did not hear, he tore his ACL. That is a big blow for Omenihu. I mean, I was really looking forward to him to be able to play this game, revenge game, if you will, just because there's not a better term for it. But I think us 49er fans really appreciate Omenihu and love him as a player. So bummer that he's not going to be able to play in this game. Running back Isaiah Pacheco was listed as a do not practice as well, dealing with a toe and ankle injury, and their guard Joe Thuney has a torn pec. So I think based on the reports that I've seen, he's also a long shot to play for the Super Bowl. We'll see how he feels in a couple weeks, but a torn pec is nothing to mess around with. So we'll see. As far as limited players for the Chiefs, linebacker Willie Gay with a neck injury, Sky Moore, their wide receiver, and their corner, Ladarius Sneed. So we'll know a little bit more by tomorrow when these two teams do practice for real this time. And yeah, they're going to practice and then they're going to head out to Las Vegas, I believe this weekend. And they're going to be staying 17 miles away from the Las Vegas Strip. The Chiefs are going to be staying 18 miles away from the Strip. Maybe this is common practice to, keep players away from the city, but being that it is Las Vegas, I think it's definitely good to be far from distractions, be far from the Strip. They'll be staying in Henderson. So, yeah, quite a ways away. for from the Las Vegas Strip. So that'll be good for them to get away and stay focused. One of the things I wanted to look at, Cam Inman, one of the 49ers beat reporters, put out, he was the only one that shared this, but I guess the 49ers released a depth chart, an unofficial depth chart for the Super Bowl. This came directly from the 49ers football communications staff, as noted here. So as of January 31st, 2024, you'll see a couple of things that you may question. For one, at right guard, Spencer Burford is listed as the starter. You might be wondering why. John Feliciano has been playing at right guard for the 49ers as of late. They have rotated them more or less, but, last game, John Feliciano started, and I believe he played that entire game at right guard. So that's an interesting one. I don't know. Again, this is an unofficial depth chart, and it's not coming from the 49ers coaches specifically. It's just coming from the communication staff. So I guess we can take this with a grain of salt. The other questionable or just, interesting thing here is that they have Isaiah Oliver listed as the nickel back or the slot corner here, even though it has been Diamador Lenore, at least when they're in those nickel packages. So Ambry Thomas is also, listed as a backup to Lenore. Again, technically he is, but in those nickel packages, he goes to the outside, and Lenore mans the slot. So that's an interesting one. At least they got Jair Brown starting at strong safety, right? But yeah, those are the little things. I guess I wouldn't find this too alarming. I mean, it is the unofficial depth chart. Doesn't really mean too much. And we are over a week away from this game. So let's not freak out about this. I just thought it was interesting and wanted to share. Let me get to a couple of comments here before I move on to the next topic, because damn well I want to talk about Cam Newton and what he had to say about Brock Purdy once again. Melissa, what's going on? She has a bunch of ladybug emojis. She says, "Hi, Steph." Ladybugs, is that like the new mascot for the 49ers? I know we have Sourdough Sam, but this ladybug thing is real. If we can get some merch with Ayuk and ladybugs, that'd be great. Especially if the 49ers end up winning this game. The ladybug thing will really take off even further. What's going on, Joel? He says, "What's up, Steph? Hope all is well." Everything is well, Joel. I am just tired, exhausted here in Mobile. It's been a long day. The moment that I get back to my hotel, I just want to scroll my phone and just sit there. But my work isn't done. I got podcasts to do. I've been putting up. Yesterday, I put up some clips from the American team practice here at the Senior Bowl. It's on the channel. In case you have trouble finding it, I created a new playlist for it. That's 2024 49ers NFL Draft. So that's where you can find all the Senior Bowl content. After this live, going to take a quick shower. Then I'm going to get back to uploading more videos for you guys to check out. So you guys can see what's going on here at the Senior Bowl as well. What's going on, Rick? Appreciate you always being here in the comments, always showing love. Let's go Niners. Nate says, "Hello there." Hey, Nate. Yeah, this is a solo pod, so I'm really just kind of winging it. There isn't a whole lot to talk about in terms of the 49ers, at least new things to talk about with them. I'll see what I do tomorrow for my show, because usually I go live with Rob, but I do have Senior Bowl practice to check out tomorrow too, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that show with Rob. So a bit of a different schedule for me today. Next week should be close to my normal schedule, and right now I'm in the works of getting a special guest on for this Friday, on the show. So make sure you guys tune into that. As always, like I say, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. Technic Chic says, "Appreciate you still jumping on, Steph, after a long day." Appreciate it. Appreciate you always being here in the comments. Rick, man, I'm tired, man. I am. Yeah, thank you for looking out for me. I did eat some dinner. They actually had some great food for us. You would think hotel food not usually good. I was totally expecting it to not be good. They gave us shrimp and grits. They gave us some jambalaya. It was so good. Maybe the best hotel food I have ever had. So shout out to oh, it wasn't the hotel, my bad. It was the convention center here in Mobile, and that's where we had some media time. But look, before I talk about the Senior Bowl and dive into that, I see a lot of people on the timeline, of course, talking about the latest Cam Newton video that has surfaced. I believe he put it out today, talking about Brock Purdy once again. And I'll find the clip. But basically, what he said about him is that he still doesn't think he's a game changer. And not only does he not think he's a game changer, he says Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on the 49ers. Just by virtue of the 49ers being so ridiculously deep and good as they are, like they're a super team. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Maybe that's true, so like I guess I won't fault him for that. But the biggest gripe that I've had with this game manager versus game changer discussion is that that's such a vast thing. Like there is an ocean of quarterbacks and probably categories that we could put quarterbacks in between game manager and game changer. Like why is there not something in the middle? That's what I keep going back to. It's like, okay, I think I understand what you're saying about Brock not being a game changer. Sure, but at the same time, it's like he's also not a game manager. We know this. We've established this. We like anyone still saying that is, just a hater. But this is what Cam Newton had to say about Brock in his podcast. Let me just turn this up.
I've never said that Brock Purdy was trash. What I did say is Brock Purdy is a game manager. That's not hate. That's just what I feel to be facts. But I still reserve the right to say this. To be labeled a game changer, Brock Purdy has to be the best player on the offensive side of the ball. And that's not the case.
And who's the best player?
Christian McCaffrey. Man, look, I ain't recanting shit.
Go.
And if you really want to just be honest, if you add in the defensive talent and you add in the offensive talent, Brock Purdy is the 10th best player on this team. Okay, cool. Did he have a great game? Yes. Is he been playing out of his mind? Yes. Is he a quarterback that's hot? Yes. But he's still the 10th best player on his team.
I mean, again, just by virtue of the 49ers being so ridiculously deep, you can put a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of good quarterbacks in this league, drop them on the 49ers, and they still would not be the best player on the 49ers. So, like, that doesn't say, to me, like, it's not an indictment on Brock specifically. But then again, it's like, why is this even necessary to say? Why? I don't know, but it does kind of it gets on my nerves because it's like, why are we talking about Brock? First of all, I'm at the point where I don't even care what anyone says about Brock Purdy anymore. He's in the Super Bowl. He went to the Super Bowl, orchestrated 2 game-winning drives. Last week, more than 2, or more than 1, I would say. There's a couple game-winning drives he kind of had to put together to come away with the win against Detroit. But, I mean, Brock Purdy's in the Super Bowl. Who cares? Who cares what Cam Newton thinks about him? Who cares what Ryan Clark, Keyshawn Johnson, Nick Wright, whoever the hell else? Who cares what they have to say about him? Like, it doesn't even matter. It really does not matter. So, I'm just trying to keep that energy, and I think what's cool about the 49ers is they're definitely hearing all of these things being said about Brock, and I also feel like they're really rallying behind him, and there was a lot of clips that came out from the 49ers NFC Championship game. I think it was from uh it was like NFL. I'm trying to remember, but Nick Bosa was seen in the locker room talking to Brock Purdy and just asking him, like, did you always know you were going to be this good? Like, how are you so confident? Um, Inside the NFL, that's what it was. I'll post a clip here because it's actually very wholesome and great to see. But I do have like something I want to say in regards to it. So here's a clip.
So the fact that you just are doing this blows my mind. All of us, bro. All of us. It's crazy. Did you think you'd be this good? I think I've asked you this before. No, I said I know, but did you how much confidence did you have? That was the second pick of the draft, and I lacked confidence. Part about the game, but dude, I met your brother.
I thought that was a really cool moment between, both of those players. And I think it was cool for Nick Bosa to admit that even as a, second overall pick, I mean, he dealt with confidence issues. I know he's talked about it before. He's mentioned imposter syndrome. He would get that at times. I think even this year he's mentioned like getting that contract. He did feel like the pressure of everything and all that goes along with it. And so I think it's cool to see that moment. I feel like other players on this team are as like equally impressed with Brock Purdy as they want to protect him as well, because I think a lot of them see him as this like young player, like he's a child, and he kind of has that baby face too. So I think that also just gives the feeling of, oh my God, he's so young and he's so good. So you can tell there's this like feeling of wanting to protect him, but also like lead him to the right path as well. And that's what's so great about there being so many like veterans on this team who have been here before. And as part of that Inside the NFL clip that I believe it aired on the CW, but I'm sure you can find like the full clip, the full episode on YouTube or somewhere else. There was another clip that circulated of George Kittle going up to a few players, and he was like, I can't wait till we can say they had us in the first half, not gonna lie. And he did end up saying it at the podium after the 49ers won, and he spoke that into existence, right? So he kind of, helps hype guys up on the sideline. That's just the kind of veteran that he is as well. And he went up to Brock Purdy to say that, like, I can't wait till we can say they had us in the first half, not gonna lie. And he was also like telling Brock, like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, we got this. All those things. Like, to me, I don't know if Kittle would have done that to a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo or just like another guy, because they're veterans. Like Jimmy Garoppolo also was a veteran. I don't think he felt like he would need to say something like that to someone like Jimmy Garoppolo or just any other quarterback. Right. And so like I think with Brock, a lot of these players and a lot of these veterans feel like they have a duty to like, like I said, protect him, but also put them in the right mindset and just tell them it's okay. Like, we got this, you got this, we believe in you. I think to me, that's been the coolest thing of this season, and being able to see little clips like that. I mean, to me, I feel like we're not even supposed to be able to hear those conversations that happen in the locker room and the sideline. They're not doing it because they have a camera in their face. They're not doing it because they have a mic in their face or, wherever. And so it's just genuine conversations that these guys are having. So I don't know. It's just cool to see. Let me get back to some of these comments. Went on a bit of a tangent there. Yeah, don't know why we're paying attention to, all this hate, all this negativity around, Brock Purdy. To some extent, like, we have a duty and a responsibility in making that stuff more popular than it needs to be. Like, we are putting those quotes and all of these things that we don't agree with, we are putting it out there because then we quote tweet it and we respond to it, and it gets more engagement. Like, it grows. We are putting it out there. As 49er fans, like, we have to stop that. We have to stop giving this stuff attention. Yeah, but I mean, there's something about the way that it's coming off with Cam. Like, it's like, I agree with him to an extent. Like, I know what he's saying, but it's not necessary to say, in my opinion. So that's why it kind of bugs me. Nathan asks, what position and player have you liked and why? Nate, quizzing me right now. There's a few guys, to get into the like Senior Bowl discussion. There's been a few guys who have popped out to me. I mean, I'll say this: the Senior Bowl and me being here is like my first introduction to a lot of these players. I don't watch college football. Okay, so a lot of these guys, I'm kind of just going into it blind and seeing who pops out. A lot of the other guys here, like draft people, they've been studying these guys, so they have guys who they're already keeping an eye on for. But really, like, whoever pops out to me. So, maybe that's more helpful, maybe it's not. But I have no biases coming into it. I'll say that. So as far as let me see, there's 2 rosters, right? So I'm looking at the American roster right now. A couple of guys that have popped out. Johnny Wilson, Florida State wide receiver. He's huge. I want to see more from him as far as what can you do with that size. Like, if you're going to be that big, use it, and I'm just not seeing that so far from him. Not that he's been terrible, but I just want him to use that more to his advantage. Xavier Legette from South Carolina, he's been pretty solid. He's been good here. Lad McConkey as well from Georgia. He's gotten a lot of attention out here, as he should. He's been impressive. And let's see. Tyler Guyton, I was able to interview him earlier today, actually, in the media portion. He's had some moments. Let's see. I know Javon Foster. I need to focus more on the offensive line. I have to say, like, I am so my thing is I'm always focused on the defensive line. Even when I'm watching the one-on-ones, like, I am always rooting for the defensive linemen. I don't know why. But as far as the defensive lineman, Darius Robinson, I actually retweeted a couple of clips that people have posted on Twitter of Robinson. If you haven't seen that, check it out. He's been a beast out here. Braden Fisk, he's intriguing. He's a defensive lineman. He's a interior defensive lineman. And one thing that me and Wayne noticed was this dude's get off is crazy. Like, he was timing the snap perfectly, and before you know it, he was getting into the backfield because he just had such a knack for timing the snap. And so he's from Florida State. He's one of the defensive linemen. So he definitely popped out. I'm gonna be paying more attention to him as the week goes on. Dude, Tavondre Sweat, he's not number 93 out here from Texas. He is huge. He is huge. Another interior defensive lineman. He's a tackle, and he's massive. He's the biggest guy here. And what's interesting is they give us this roster, and it comes with all of the players' heights, weights, all that. His weight isn't listed, so I'm like, but he is the biggest dude here. He's the biggest dude here, and so he's definitely intriguing because when you think about, I feel like there's two defensive tackles the 49ers look for, right? DJ Jones. You really want someone that's similar to DJ Jones because they have missed him and they haven't really gotten that back. Kalia Davis, has been hurt. He hasn't really carved out a role to really develop into that guy. So I think that's something the 49ers are missing from their interior defensive line. a guy like T'Vondre Sweat, I think he has the size to definitely, have that DJ Jones role in this defense. Miles Cole is another guy who's, been impressive. He's from Texas Tech. He's a big dude as well. Yeah, there's been a number of guys here. Let's see. I know a couple of Andrew Phillips is corner from Kentucky. He's small. He's the tiniest corner here. Like, I even checked the sizes of all the corners. He's the tiniest dude, and he looks tiny. Johnny Wilson, who I was talking about earlier, that huge receiver, Andrew Phillips won a rep against him. I mean, how? The size difference is, pretty stark, but Andrew Phillips plays a lot bigger than his size. So I've been really impressed with him, and he does a good job of staying with the receiver. So definitely intrigued by him. I was trying to find him to interview him today, but I'm going to try after the practice tomorrow to see if I can, talk to him, because really impressed. He's a slot corner too. So that's something I think the 49ers need, right? A slot corner. So Andrew Phillips, remember that name, people. But yeah, let me look at the other team now. I think, like, as far as the national team, it's more like top heavy, the national team. Like, they got Penix, they got Nix, the quarterbacks. Obviously, I'm not really paying attention to them. 49ers don't need a quarterback this time. But yeah, Luke McCaffrey's on the national team. If you guys saw, I posted some clips of him as well. Solid route runner, as you can imagine. McCaffrey family, kind of known for that, right? So Luke definitely, falls in line with the genes and the route running. And he had he had a couple good reps against what I think is one of the best corners here, Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. And that's one of the ones that I posted, actually, that you guys might have seen on my Twitter. And I'll post it on, YouTube here later when I put those clips up. But yeah, he's nice. He's really nice. Brendan Rice, obviously you want to be excited for Brendan Rice. He's Jerry Rice's son. But I don't know. I just don't see it. There are some drops. There seems to be a lack of separation. Like, he can't separate from corners. I just haven't seen it. So between the two, if I had to pick, I'd say McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey. So I know as 49er fans going to be real interested in Luke McCaffrey, but keep in mind, Broncos fans going to be all over him as well. Yeah, so Brendan Rice, leaving much to be desired for me. Javon Baker from Central Florida, he's been solid as well. Let's see. Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon, he's been one of the good offensive linemen here as well. There's been a couple guys from Florida, Kingsley. I don't even know how to say his last name. Egwukun. Yeah, so he's been good. Dominic Pooney has out of Kansas. He's lined up pretty much everywhere on the offensive line. That's something I think, a team will really be interested in. Though at the same time, sometimes that kind of hurts prospects, because teams see you as like jack of all trades, master of none. Like, you always run that risk. But I think with him, you can just definitely say he's versatile across the line. Fuaga has been good here as well. There was one moment, I believe, like during one-on-ones, one of the defensive linemen got like pissed and took off the helmet of offensive lineman. I could have sworn it was on Fuaga that he took off the helmet, but I'll post that clip on my YouTube later. You guys could see. Michael Hall has been good. He's one of the defensive linemen here from Ohio State. He's definitely flashed a few times. I posted a clip earlier today of him batting down a pass at the line. He's been disruptive. Austin Booker is another one who's stood out to me. Adisa Isaac had, I noticed him here as well. Latu out of UCLA is like, everyone has their eyes on him, and he's definitely been good. He has a deep bag of pass rush moves. The thing with him, like, people knock him for his size, but he's winning. He's winning here, like, a lot. So, yeah, I mean, I think at this point he's proving that size is no issue with him. So he's definitely, making himself some money out here. So I'm not going to post this on Twitter, but since you guys are listening and watching here live, I'll just say this. I heard from someone that John Lynch loves Cedric Gray. That's all I'll say. I'm just like repeating that to you guys. Cedric Gray is linebacker out of North Carolina. So I'm sure I'll probably say it later somewhere down the line. But yeah, you guys, I got you guys. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, like, those have been the guys that have really popped out to me. I already mentioned Quinion Mitchell. He's been awesome out here as well. But yeah, there's a number of guys. And the thing with me too, because like I don't know, I didn't know a lot of these guys going into the Senior Bowl. I'm going to watch all of my clips again. That's really why I'm filming as well. Not just for you guys, but for me too, because also I have bad memory. So, I can go back and look and see who I really like. But yeah, Stovey asked, how's the O-line looking? I heard it's a deep draft. It's definitely a deep offensive line draft. But I'll say this, like, the defensive line is also looking good out here. Maybe they're not as deep, but the guys who are here, they're winning reps as well. They're definitely winning some reps. So I don't make of that what you will. But that's what I'll say. There's definitely some impressive dudes. Yeah. Appreciate the comments, people. Yeah, Technic Chic says, Shanahan and Kosarek loves guys with a quick get off. Get the F off, right? That's the motto for the 49ers. So yeah, I mean, that could be someone that they're interested in, for sure. But definitely got to do more homework on him. I mean, certainly it's not just about the Senior Bowl. And yeah, slot corner, definitely something the 49ers is going to be looking at, I think. I spotted a few scouts. I spotted Tariq Ahmad, director of college scouting. But they're looking at everyone, right? Like, there isn't like one position that they're focused on out here. Like, they watch everyone. How did Jacob Cowing look today? I don't know if I got a good look at I didn't get a good look at him today, honestly. But I did film the 11 on 11s today, so I'll just have to look back. I'm sure he's in there somewhere. Do you know what team he's on, Justin? Oh, here he is. He's a wide receiver. Okay. Out of Arizona. Okay. Yeah, national team was the first team that went today, so I've probably seen 2 number 2s today. Yeah. I want to say it was good, but keep an eye out for the clips that I post later, and I'll let you know. Jordan Morgan. Yeah, these names I'm definitely I'll keep an eye on them tomorrow for you guys. And if there's anyone else you guys are interested in, let me know. Jordan Morgan, what position does he play? Or do you know what team he's on? 49er media. I don't see him on the national roster. Let's see. Oh, tackle from Arizona. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look back the one-on-ones. Again, I was just like focused on filming Javon Solomon, edge out of Troy. Okay. Yeah, I'll make note of this. This is awesome. You guys have probably done more homework leading up to the Senior Bowl than I have, to some extent. But come on, I'm writing it down so I can keep tabs on the guys tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like I said, I feel bad because I've been rooting for the defensive line and I just keep an eye on them the whole time. But I'll post the one-on-one clips that I got, and I'll post the 11-on-11 clips that I got. I pretty much filmed almost the entire session of those, so make sure that you guys check those out, and you guys could see how those players looked today as well. Yeah, I mean, wow, I've already been on for 35 minutes, huh? Time flies when you're having a good time. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, tomorrow, not really sure what's gonna go on. I don't think I'm gonna do my show with Rob in the morning just because that's the same time that I'll be at the Senior Bowl practice. And after practice, I have to head out to the airport. I gotta drive down to New Orleans and then head back home. So I don't know. I told Mariah I probably could do the Two Goat show, so just keep an eye out for that. Maybe we'll just do that later. But yeah, appreciate all of you guys, and like I said, I'll have a special guest, or like I'm trying to lock that in firmly for Friday, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be back home for that, and then we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming next week. And yeah, I'll be at this Super Bowl the following weekend. So make sure you guys keep it locked. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. Appreciate you guys so much, especially in episodes like this when I'm by myself and I'm not talking to myself. You guys do give me stuff to say. So appreciate it, guys. Make sure you have a good night. And for now, peace.